Today we're going to make some sweet sultana scones. These could be fruit scones, so you could change the sultanas for beautiful fresh fruit, whatever you like, strawberries, raspberries, mango, pineapple, whatever you like. It would be great. All right, so as always, first thing we do, wash our hands, give them a great wash and clean. And obviously before you cook, you work with food, prepare food, anything you do, eating, preparing, cooking, wash your hands well. Wear an apron, it's a good thing to do. It makes sure that you keep lovely and clean and the food keeps clean too, less germs. Okay, so very, very simple. These are the ingredients you need. So we've got self-raising flour, we've got caster sugar, but you could use brown sugar. We've got a little bit of baking powder, which just helps it to rise. You can use milk or you can use cream, it doesn't matter. Cinnamon, again, it's up to you. You could use mixed spice if you like. We've got butter, we've got some sultanas or raisins, which have been soaked in water for at least 10 minutes to absorb them, absorb the water. And then we've got a little bit of beaten egg that will give it a wash. Not that much in the way of equipment. You don't need a rolling pin, but you can have a rolling pin. A fork, dessert spoon, teaspoon, timer, measuring scales, baking tray and cutters. But again, you don't have to have the cutters. You could have any shape cutters if you'd like. It doesn't really matter. A timer is a good idea just to keep an eye on what's going on. Okay, so easy peasy. You measure out your flour, you pop the flour into your bowl. I'm going to put the cinnamon in before I forget. I'm going to just put about half a teaspoon of that. I'm going to put in the baking powder again before I forget, because I will. That's gone in, lovely, lovely, lovely. Then I'm going to put in the butter, which has been softening, so it's got quite soft, that butter. But you should really use chilled butter, it's easier, but it's warm today, so I don't know. It's probably a little bit too soft, but it doesn't matter. If you've got a bigger bowl, use a bigger bowl. It makes it a little bit easier, mixing bowl. So there you go. If you like it sweet, I'm not particularly sweet, so I'm just going to put in 1 spoonful or 1 dessert spoon of sugar. If you want more, you could put in a couple of dessert spoons. Not forgetting that your sultanas or raisins are very sweet. They're very sweet indeed. Okay, so give that a lovely mix. You can see that you can't see the butter anymore, so that's lovely, just like that. And then I just make a little well in the center. I'm going to pour in some of the, I'm using single cream here, but you, like I say, you could use milk. You could also use the egg yolk if you wanted to, or you could also use some egg. If you use fresh fruit, do be careful, because fresh fruit obviously is wet. So you will need to add extra amounts of flour. So at this point, what you're looking for is a pastry. So what I'm going to do here is put a little bit of flour on my table. I'm going to get my hand in there. Now my hand is clean, but it's also warm. So that is going to bring it together into a lovely pastry form. So all the time I'm mixing this, the butter is actually melting. So I can actually clean that bowl off completely just from the heat of my hands. So I'm going to tip that out. That's a lovely clean bowl. And I'm just going to pull that together very gently. Like I said, you can use the rolling pin, but it's not really necessary. You don't have to use it. So bring that together, then give it a lovely pat down like that. You've got all those beautiful raisins or sultanas longing to jump out at you. So I've got a piece of paper here. Make sure the scones are quite big and thick, because you're going to cut the scones in half. You usually serve a scone with cream, jam, butter. It's obviously not a very healthy thing to eat, but it's a delicious tea time treat. So like that, if you've got extra pastry, you just pop that back in your hand, pull it all together, roll it round, and that last one can just be a little bit bigger. It doesn't really matter. So pop it on there, and then you want to take a little bit of egg, wash the top. If you don't want to use egg, you can use milk. Just wash the top of each one. You don't want to wash underneath. So you just brush with a pastry brush. And then you're going to pop those into the oven, a hot oven, 220, and they should take about 10 to 15 minutes at the most, but it will depend on the thickness of the scone and obviously how many you make in the batch. And you should end up with a beautiful scone like this, very homemade, very rustic. Serve it with butter, with whipped cream or thick cream, clotted cream, jam if you want, and there you have it. So on this tray here, I've got sweet scones. I've also got some cheese savoury scones. Enjoy.